What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a live show. A live show. It's gonna be a depressing live show, and it's not just because of my voice. Actually, I did my match reaction, and there were some PSV fans in the comments saying I lost my voice because of the game, which was funny, but it was not the case. I definitely did not lose it because of the game. It was very possible. It was that bad, but that's not the reason. We're gonna talk about it during the live show, or these guys are gonna definitely talk about it. I'm gonna try to talk about it. It was a disaster yesterday. We're out of the Champions League, and we're out of it in just an embarrassing way. Basically, in every single way, we have been kicked out of the Champions League in the last, I don't know, 5, 6 editions. Only this time we got a clear lead, and we still messed it up, which makes it worse with a lot of mistakes during the game, on and off the pitch, and no nobody actually or nobody actually really taking any real responsibility post game, which was, I think, the saddest part of the evening. But with me, Norbert, Malik, how are you guys doing?
Hey, well, I don't know. It was so obvious to me that we're gonna go out after I don't know, probably 60 minutes of football, because the first half was okay, and I guess it's okay. I'm over it. We need to concentrate on the league, and we need to make that fourth spot. Um, and that's our standard now, forcing or fighting for the fourth spot, and that's it. And I'm a little depressed, but it's okay.
It's just very depressing how every European campaign just ends with a team you should be beating, and it's happened for the last five attempts, I think. Uh, yeah, I mean, we all knew going into that second leg that the lead was very narrow, and it would have been nicer to go with a 2-goal lead instead of 1-goal lead. I remember Shamil was saying in the group chat that this is a bad result, and in hindsight, it was a bad result because 1 goal changed everything, and even despite the equalizer, just conceding straight away just really, when we conceded the second, I just genuinely sat in silence throughout the rest of the match, and when it went to extra time and they scored the third, I was like, oh my god, this is happening, and yeah, we're out. We need top four now. It's like a non-negotiable, since also Italian teams really screwed up badly this week, so no fifth spot. Yeah, I can't believe this has become the standard for Juve these days. Like fourth place last 4 seasons, crazy.
Yeah.
I 2-1 wasn't the best result. I think even if we were up 2-0, I think we would have found a way yesterday to
Yeah.
throw it away. My first question is, how do you go from that first half? And it's not me saying we were brilliant, but we were just in full control of that half. Like PSV were non-existent. And again, not saying that we were creating chances. That was kind of the issue. I tweeted it out. I'm like, we need to score. But we were in full control. It looked like we were playing a team that was fighting relegation, basically. They couldn't do anything for 45 minutes. How do you go from that to get absolutely ran over? Like, when I say ran over, it felt like, I don't know, we all play Sunday League football, and from time to time, even me, we have a young squad. We play a team that's like 50, we play 50-year-olds, and it's just, yeah, it's over before we even play. Like 20 minutes into the game, we're just walking past them because they're dead on their feet. That's how I was looking at that second half. They were coming at us and coming, and I was like, we cannot stop them. And then I looked at us trying to attack them, and we look like the 50-year-olds, immobile, no ideas, not quick, not direct, anything. So, Norbert, how you go from full control to completely losing the control in the space of a 50-minute break?
So our entire season is like this. one of the halves usually is worse, a lot worse. Not like just a little bit worse, but like a lot worse than the other. The entire season is like this. Um, and this time it was probably the worst half of Juventus this year. I would say yes, this was the worst half. The Napoli one was also pretty disgusting, but this one, I have no explanation. I just don't understand how can they have one okay half in this case and one terrible, and in some other cases one good half and the other one is not that good. But like it's hard to say anything really. It's just the entire season, and I don't know what is happening in at halftime, because I feel like most of the cases we played better in the second halves. So something might work in in those team talks, but this time I don't know. It was like PSV playing the Dutch second division team or something. Complete nonsense from every player really. Like maybe Weah was the only player who was good. Even though that goal was a fluke, we all know it. We didn't really have any chances. But defensively it was okay. Yeah, it's really hard to say anything.
Yeah, it's the story of our season, really. As you put it, Norbert, one half is good or okay, and one half is absolutely terrible. And what's concerning is that it's so random, because like against Napoli, we had a really good first half and a terrible second half. I still think that second half was the worst of our season, followed by the second half against PSV, because against Napoli we created absolutely nothing. At least against PSV we had some chances, and at least we scored the goal. But yeah, and against Inter it was the opposite. It was a horrible first half and a really, really good second half. So I don't know. I can't remember a game where we played like consistently well for 90 minutes. Maybe against Milan City, I guess. But other than that, yeah, the story of our season, and it's gutting. It's really, really disappointing.
Yeah, we're out. It is. Somebody's asking how much money we lost. I don't know, 11, 13.
Yeah,
I heard it was 11. I saw a report saying 11
Okay.
yeah,
million.
11. Yeah.
So a lot of money. That's half the money we're gonna pay for freaking Cali. So a lot of money that we lost on the night. And yeah, man, like you said in the intro, Malik. The moment it went 2-1, I lost all emotions because I knew what was gonna happen. I knew it. I actually knew it before the 2-1. That's, I think, the biggest topic, because I think we needed subs minute 50. I think it was clear, but I was like, okay, whatever. You can see, and I'm like, this midfield is getting overrun, like completely. Like it was non-existent at one point anymore. And I was looking at Conceição. Remember when about 2 months ago I said it's not a certainty for me that you pay that money for Conceição. Maybe Giuntoli, it's in his mind, it's like, I need to do that. But I was watching at Conceição, I'm like, you're playing against us again. You're not playing with the team. You're playing on your own.
Yeah.
I made that remark towards Chiesa last season. I'm like, pick your head up. He doesn't, like, his head is almost buried into the field. Like he sees nothing. And I was like, wow. I'm looking at Gonzalez and I'm like, your work rate, I appreciate, because minute 120 he was still running. I don't know how he was doing it, but there's no quality. Like towards the end, he picked up the ball. He ran from one box to the other. I'm like, oh my God. Flick it to Vlahovic, and he just ran straight into a PSV player. Like, there's no end product. There's no idea behind the work he does. So I was looking at it, and I was like, make a sub, help this team out. And I saw Yildiz, Bangula and Thuram coming on until we scored that goal. And I was like, perfect. 1-1.
Yeah.
Make the subs, because Thuram was needed. And Bangula was needed. We needed somebody who just kept hold of the ball and let that team, pick up like a couple of meters, because we were just hoofing it up to Colomani and he was running at it for no good reason again. Not blaming him, but I was like, there's no support. And what does he do? He calls the subs off. I couldn't believe it because I was cheering for a goal, and then 2 minutes later I was like, wait, where are the subs? Did I miss that? He called them off. Which makes it worse is when he made the subs, he made different subs. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought you lost. Like, it's not a given. We would have drew the game and went to the next round if he made that subs. However, I thought we would have had a higher shot because the moment Thuram comes on and in Bangola, it's different because they can carry the ball and then Bangola can keep the ball. And actually, he creates danger lately, period. He did more than Gonzalez and Conceição combined. Over 2 legs almost. Like, it's crazy to me that happened. And then post-game, I was like, okay, own up to it because it's clear. Everybody can see it. I put on the studio. That's the first thing they said. They said the subs, where were they? I was like, okay, he's going to own up to it. He didn't. I'm like, what? And then to make it worse, I wish he never said that. He said, Cominus had the fever. So he wasn't 100%. It was a forced sub. I'm like, no, you forced yourself to be forced into making that sub. Play Thuram. I'm just picturing myself being Thuram, sitting at home, reading that. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, what is this? You're playing players who are not ready in a Champions League knockout stage. And then you're trying to use that as an excuse. Like, I'm not saying get Mota out. I'm not one of those persons. I'm not there yet. But when you said that, I'm like, you're making it very, very hard for me to not reach a certain point where I'm like, I cannot trust you anymore. So that was what I was going to say. So, Norbert, what do you make of the entire situation?
So, for me, first of all, Thuram played 80 minutes as a sub. That brings the question: why can't our best midfielder start in a game like this? Because he played 80 minutes, so he's not injured. But those subs, man, what was it? 13 minutes. So they were ready to come in the 60th or something, and they only came in like the 74th or so. And also like Savona doesn't work on the left side, and he brought him in. It's a complete mess. And that he doesn't own up to his mistake because he made many mistakes during this game. I just completely baffled by it. Like it's, I don't know. It's hard to like Motta, to be honest, with him being stubborn. And I mean, by like coal miners should not play. I don't care, sick, not sick, whatever. He's not at the level, and he should sit. And we should try something else. And it's getting annoying. And I don't think it's the tactics or whatever. It's just I don't know. It's I don't know. I just speechless, to be honest, by the subs and everything. I think this weekend we're gonna see if we will make top 4 or no. How do we react against Cagliari? If we can actually create against a small team or no? Because if we don't win this weekend, I think it's done. Because I can't see us standing up. This is the only way we can actually show what we can do, and let's see.
Yeah, let's see indeed, because after Thuram's performance against Inter, which I saw in the flesh in front of my eyes, I was so wowed by it. Like, I was shocked he didn't start against PSV. Yeah, Cup Miners just isn't this like the third or fourth time like his is playing with a fever, playing through a fever. So someone needs to give
Yeah.
that man some vitamin C first of all, and or firstly, should be put on the bench and then have some vitamin C because this is very out of hand and his performances are not up to standard. I don't know. I feel like the team is gonna have such a huge mental block because I already doubt the mentality of the squad. So yeah, and I think the Cagliari game won't be a pretty one. The triple sub, I think, and the fans' post game comments on the triple sub emphasize his stubbornness because you know he said he made the right decisions and he wouldn't change it if he went back and you know you lost the tie. Why wouldn't you do that? So I don't understand it. I'm trying to back him. I'm not Motta out just for the record, but like he needs to fix up because it's getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe very simplistic, but the PSG wanted more. And Locatelli said it. I think another player said it. I'm sorry, I forgot who. And then Motta comes out, he said, the Locatelli said that. That's not really true. And Locatelli said, we threw away the game. He said, no, we didn't throw away anything. I'm like, come on. We're not coaches. We don't know the ins and out of football. I get it. But we have eyes. Like, we watched that 90 minutes. You know, I thought that presser was very disrespectful towards the fans and a bit towards the players as well. Where I'm like, you're putting some players in, like he brings on Savona at left back again. I'm like, do you want that kid to actually die on that pitch? Like, what is the plan? Like, first off, I don't get the sub. And two, you're actually sending him out there to get killed. Like, really, I feel when I watch someone I play, I feel for him. Right now, I'm looking at it. I'm like, you're hurting his career, basically. And hurting the team as well. It makes no sense. Like, I was watching Sky. And they were talking today. And they were saying, like, this needs to end, this experiment. One day it's Court Minders, then it's Suram, then it's Juventus Out. It needs to end. It's done. It's March. It's almost March. We have different lineups every single week. It's like, when is it gonna end? Pick your 11, stick with it. And definitely now that we don't have games every 3 weeks, every 3 days, excuse me. Pick your team, stick with it. This is not working. Yield is on the bench for, I don't know, 2-3 games right now, or 2.5, whatever. Then it's Juventus Out. Then it's Gonzalez is playing like dog shit. I don't care that he works hard. There's no quality. There's no end product. He's not helping. He's not helping. And actually, with the first goal, Cambiasso was late. But where is Nico Gonzalez to cover? Like, is that the work rate? Is that what you really need? Like, come on. Like, we have eyes. We're not idiots. We can see certain things. And it needs to end. Against Cagliari, I want to see a lineup. I want to see that lineup again against Empoli in the Coppa Italia. And the following weekend against, I don't know, Verona, I think it is. I want to see the same lineup. I don't care. This needs to end. It's crazy that we need to sit here every week and guess 3-4 positions in a starting lineup. It makes no sense. It makes sense in August. Maybe. It doesn't make sense in March. It's clear Court Miners is not good. He offers nothing. Why is Suram on the bench? Nobody understands that. That's one. Mbangula is playing well. And you can have the argument, oh, but he's not good enough long term. I don't care about long term right now. I care about right now. And he's good enough right now. What happened to Yildiz? People are making excuses. Oh, but he played a lot of games. And I don't care that he played a lot of games. He's your most talented player in the biggest game of the season. Why is he getting garbage time minutes? Why, if he comes on, you put him on the right? Like, I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense. And he's actually shooting himself in the foot. He's doing it to himself right now. Playing players out of position, putting players in difficulties. Remember when I talked about McKennie and stuff, it's not me calling out McKennie. People, can go on social media and say, take print screens and have an agenda. I don't care about, it's social media. I don't give two shits about it. But it's not me having go at McKennie, but in that position, he's not adding the quality needed for playing that position. It's not a knock on McKennie, but it's not what we need as a team. It's not what Kolomani needs. It's becoming stubbornness to a very absurd level, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna change. Actually, I do know he's not gonna change it. But man, come on, it's clear, Norbert. If you are like if you are Giuntoli right now and you're looking at it, even if you tied your future to Motta, surely you cannot be looking at it being Giuntoli and be like, this is all normal. And with normal, I mean, yes, it needs time, but 3-4 new players every single week. Forget about the backline because that's crazy, and we'll talk about that in a second. But in general, clearly being Giuntoli, at one point you're like, okay, Motta, what is actually the idea behind this? Because nobody can see it.
Yeah, and that was the main reason Allegri had to go, because how we played. And this is pretty similar, to be honest. Not much difference. And Allegri as well. He had the record. I don't know how many games in a row he put a different starting 11 on in a row.
We're on pace on beating that.
How many was that?
I don't know. It could be 50 games. We're gonna beat it at this rate. It wasn't. It was. I think it was close to 20 or something.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, we should have by the end of February, we should have a stable starting 11, minus obviously the injuries. But other than that, like, we should know who's our left wing, who's the best left winger, who's the best right winger, and who should not play 10. Cope Miners, I'm looking at you, Cope Miners, or actually an 8, because he's bad at 8 as well. We thought if he's playing at 8, Cope Miners, then he will be better, but he's not. He's clearly not. And as I said, I don't know, Thuram played 80 minutes and he's injured. Like, come on, he's not injured. You can't play 80 minutes if you're injured, and not like that. Like, he was playing really good and he's not starting. And he won't. I just don't understand. Like, Locatelli and Thuram was so stable together. Like, they had the rhythm together. Locatelli was defending more, and Thuram was progressing the ball more, and it worked in a way. And if we would have a normal 10, like, I don't know, Yildiz or whoever else, just not Cope Miners, or I don't know, McKennie is kind of okay. Like, okay, he can be there, but he's not obviously not the long-term solution. I don't know, like Giuntoli, what is he thinking? I don't know. Like, and I also believe that it's not a good thing that if Giuntoli would say to Motta that, come on, it's not good or something. But he should definitely say something that just tell him it's not working, do something else or something. Because how we play is disgusting, and he should tell him that. He can definitely tell him that. I don't know.
See, whenever I look at this team and the way we play, I'm always like, the inadequacies are very obvious. Like, obviously, Coop Miners at 10, the center backs, the lack of wingers, the constant rotation. I think last season, Allegri, I think every single match was a different starting 11. Like, it was never ever the same, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember reading that like last season. But yeah, before Motta came in and I was watching Bologna last season, I was convinced like we're gonna have like a stable 11, an established identity, by this time. Ho- I would have hoped. Because you look at Bologna last season, you see a very fixed starting 11, Orsolini on the right, Calafiori, Posh as right back, the midfield three and that sort of thing. But with us, it's not there. It's just constant rotation, constant still. It's like he's still figuring out the team, which obviously it's still his first year. But then again, like the stubbornness is very obvious because, as I said, just it's the issues are very plain to see, and like and all of us as fans, obviously, we don't work in the club or anything like that, but we all have the same consensus, don't we? It's always like, oh, Yildiz at 10, don't play Cup Miners, play Thuram and Locatelli. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm starting to lose it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me try to read out a few comments. I'll give it a go. Said, I'm not a Gatti fan, but on the last goal, I don't believe there was anything he could have done. De Jong with the ball, and if he would have tried to clear it, it would have been a stupid pen. No, he should have cleared it. That was just awful defending. I'm sorry. Like, he couldn't cause
He didn't
a
hit
pen.
the ball.
He just
Right?
didn't hit
Like-
the ball. Like, yeah, like there's no chance to give up a pen in there. He was just, I
Hit
don't
the
know.
ball.
Like, if I talk about it, it's not the reason we lost, but he's part
Yeah.
of the big reason. Like, I don't know how to dress it up, and people can say I have an agenda. I don't care. If you think Gatti is good enough to play for this club, fine. I've watched enough Juve to say confidently he's not. And he's not the only one, by the way. He's not the only one. But I'm not going to come on and praise Gatti. The moment I'm going to do that, I made peace with us being mediocre. I'm never going to do that. I'm sorry. He doesn't show me anything to suggest that he is a player that should be starting for this club. I'm sorry. Like, I just can't. And yesterday was just another. Like, and yes, he does good things in a game. That's fine. But if you're a top player, you don't do too many bad things in a game, if that makes sense. Because then people will talk about it, not just about the good things. That's just my opinion. I don't care about the money. I care about the quality of football and the prestige of the club. Yeah, but we should be caring about the money. If you want better quality of the football, that's kind of the thing right now. Just swap Savona with McKennie and Yildiz on the 10. At the moment, Motta shouting at Cambiasso about him coming on, so shameful. Yeah, he was just not ready. Let me see. Actually, Gonzalez in the Perisic goal, he was falling before the pass and then slowed down. I said, no, don't do that. Then the pass completed and we can see that, yeah, he didn't do what he had to do. That's just it. I called it from the sun. We won't finish better than last season with the total. Good job, Motta did. Top 4 is not enough to keep Motta next season unless we see concrete growth. They're gonna keep him, even if we don't get top 4. They're gonna keep him. Gonna accept Savona sub if he was forced to do it, to take Cambiasso out, but not to move Cambiasso to midfield. Also, why not play Loca and Thuram? I mean, yeah. Even when he made the subs, I couldn't make sense out of it, to be honest. I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, I don't get it. Like, when he was making subs, I'm like, move Cambiasso, move McKennie to left back.
Yeah.
Do that. And add Yildiz behind him. Like, you're chasing a game. Like, I was looking at him like, you're chasing a game. What's happening? What's actually happening right here? It's actually crazy. And the goals, we can see it as well, are ridiculous. The first one was excellent. You need to track back, but still, that was just excellent play. But the other twos are idiotic. Like if you have better defenders out there, you don't concede those 2 goals. You don't. I'm 100% convinced about that. And it's not to say we would have won that game. Maybe we would find another way to lose that game. I don't know. But like some goals we concede with slightly better back defenders out there, we won't concede. I think if Vega stayed on the pitch, we would have conceded 1 goal less, 100%. Because I was watching Kelly play center back in the second half, and I wanted to kill myself. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he has a very low IQ. There was one moment where he just could play in Di Gregorio, and he panics and he boots it out of the stadium, basically. I'm like, why? You invite pressure for no reason. That's what I'm talking about. Low football and IQ. In the first half, he was fine because there was no pressure from PSV in the first half. That's my point. The moment that pressure cooker is on, these defenders have absolutely no clue what to do. Like, it showed. Looking at McKennie, where's Kalulu? Like, please come back. I don't know where you're at. Come back. I think we have 3 days games until the international break, right? And then it's international break, or am I wrong? I thought it was 3.
Something like that.
We need to pray Kalulu comes back. Because Kelly is going to cost us games. He's not.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't read the game very well. When he's under pressure, he panics. He really panics. I've not seen a defender at this level panic, in my opinion, that quickly. I was like, calm down, chill. Because if he panics, like everybody around start panicking as well because he's playing center back. He doesn't look calm, and it just like it snowballed towards the end. I was like, oh, this is bad. Like, this is really, really bad, and he's not the only reason. Like, as a team, we couldn't stop PSV. And Mota on the sideline had absolutely no answer to it. Like, they were playing on a pace I've not seen us play on ever. They were playing on a pace. I was like, if we face every team like that, we're going to lose every single game. We cannot keep hold of it. We look completely out of shape compared to him, which is weird. And Noah Lang was actually terrorizing us, which is insane because I watch him play in the Belgium league on a weekly basis, and he does the same thing over and over again. And it was working. Perisic was playing for free in Croatia a couple of months ago. He terrorized us in the second half. I couldn't believe it, but it was actually happening. And I'm looking at our players who are 10 years younger, and it couldn't cut the mustard against a shit PSV backline. PSV fans will tell you that backline is rubbish. And they had no issues with us. It was actually sad to see, like when you get scored on by a player called Flamingo, it's time to call it a wrap, It really is. Like, that was just pure banter. It's not good, by the way, as well, which makes it worse. Okay, my next question was, Norbert, how like being Mota right now, because going off his presser, he made no mistakes, he said. So how does he go from this to, like you said, beat Cagliari, which is not a given by the way for us, beating Cagliari?
Yeah.
How do you make that switch when you just said in the presser you made no mistakes and you would do the same thing over again?
I wish I would know the answer. Tell them that okay, let's forget about this game because whatever, Champions League, and concentrate on the league. How we played against Inter. That one half, maybe make it 2, please. I don't know. It's really hard. It's just how we play, like week in, week out. It's like one half good, the other is not, and then then the other day, one half is okay and the other is terrible. And what do you say? Like, tell them don't play a draw. Like, I don't know. It's really, really hard. But something needs to change, because with this mentality and how we played is disgusting. And but it's also his fault. He's the coach. He needs to figure it out, and he better figure it out, because if we don't make top four, we can say goodbye to not just two players who are most likely leave the club, like Vlahovic for sure, and Cambiaso, but we can also say goodbye to probably one more big one, Yildiz or someone. I don't know. Especially if we're looking at Lookman. I don't know. Malik, what can you say about this?
I don't know what to say, because we've
Yeah,
had
it's
so
hard.
many, like we've had so many, even like this season, before this, we've had so many disappointing results and draws, like, and we haven't really seen a pickup. Like the only pickup we've had were the last 4 games, and like it all just came crumbling down now. So I don't know. Against Cagliari, I expect the same thing as we have all season. You know, what's gonna change so suddenly, you know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be another bad half, another okay half, or maybe 2 bad halves, or maybe for once we play a good game and we suddenly we're in delusion land and we forget all about this PSV game. I have no idea what to expect. But since he's a man who doesn't make any mistakes with the substitutions and team selections, we're gonna see the same things as we did all season. The things that annoy us: the Coop at 10, Savon at left back, and Yield is on the bench for whatever reason. So yeah, it's just frustrating. I don't know what to, like I said previously. The solutions should be just literally change the approach, change your approach to team selection. Just do something different, man, because it's clearly not working. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Saibari. That's a good example because in the first half, I thought he was gonna get subbed because he was playing with us. He was so poor, and in the second half, he cooked us. Like he actually cooked us in the first half. I thought he was getting subbed. He was actually playing that bad. He really was. And then he comes out in the second half. Noah Long, same. He was rubbish in the first half. Perisic, he had no idea how to get past Cali in the first half. And in the second half, they start cooking us all three. I'm like, how? And the worst part is we had no reaction. Like, we don't know how to react to it. That's the worst part, you know? So it's a very sad day. Yes, it was extremely sad for so many different reasons. And you need to finish fourth because fifth place is not going to be a Champions League spot. And you're going to need to start beating these quote-unquote bad teams. But, you know, are we sure we are a good team? Not really. You're going to need to pick up wins against Cagliari and Verona. I don't know who we play. I think we have Roma and Lazio away still this season. Atalanta at home. I think it is. And Fiorentina away. So, yeah, you still have 4 tough games out there. And right now, I don't see how you're going to beat these teams, which is crazy because against Inter, we saw how you can beat a team. But also in the first half, how you can get beaten. Like, it's actually insane. And I made a video for tomorrow, so I don't want to spoil it. But when I see transfer news about exciting younger players, I'm like, we need experience. If you want more young and exciting players, then you're probably going to need to sell some we have in the squad. They're not cutting it to replace them with. But we need experience. We need players who actually step up. Perisic stepped up. He stepped up. Maybe somebody in the chat could put a list of all the free agents because the lists are out there. Free agents in the summer. I'm not saying we're getting Mo Salah or Kevin De Bruyne. But if there's a possibility, you'd rather spend more money on that than bringing in another 19-year-old because this squad needs guys who've done it. over and
Yeah.
over again and still have the passion to do it again. Perisic has the passion. I think he will have the passion when he's 80. You can see it.
Yeah.
Like he
He's
plays,
Croatian.
yeah, like he played for free in Croatia because he wants to play. He could have gone, you know, and earned money elsewhere, but he wants to play meaningful games. If you find those free agents, we are in no position to say, oh, they're done, they're dusted. We need some of these players in the squad, in that lineup. We 100% need these players out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest task for Giuntoli going into next season is, yes, the quality needs to improve, but we need experience because there's no leaders in the squad whatsoever. Leaders with quality, by the way. That's just
Yeah.
my take.
Our squad is young, and plus 1 year is not going to make the difference for sure. We need experience, at least a few. I'm not saying buy all the 35-year-old players, but at least a few we need for sure.
Yeah, because like our squad was always built on like, you know, players who've been there for ages, you know, won things and did things, and but this is like especially, you know, last season and this season, like, you know, after, especially after losing the likes of Chiellini, Borucci, and Chesney, and you know these sort of players, you know, it's the average age, the youngest average age of any Juve side in forever. So, and that really shows the way we fail to close out games, the lack of maturity in some games. And yeah, just like it's funny how we went from wanting to sign younger players because we had such an old squad to wanting to sign older players now because we have such a young squad. But then again, it's all about the balance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like when the players come out post game and say, we're a young squad. I don't care. Like
No one
like,
cares. Yeah.
in terms of like we understand. But that's a very like if that's the excuse after every single bad result, that means you don't believe that, but you use that as a shield. That's how it comes across. It doesn't come across like it's actually the issue for you guys. So I don't like that.
Yeah.
Cali will feast on an overworked Gatti, who was MLS quality, and Cali was awful. Our defense makes us vulnerable to everyone, even if we somehow manage to control a match. It's not just inconsistency. The quality isn't what it needs to be, and that leads to inconsistency. Our experienced players we brought in are the biggest flops. Cope, Luiz, Nico. Verratti is a free agent. KDB will go to Saudi. It's a given. It's not really a given if you live in Belgium. Actually, if he goes to Saudi, it will be a shock for a lot of Belgium news outlets and people. Another upcoming free agent, Welga Cope, and it's not working. We all wanted him, talent and experience, but we had the leaders, we got rid of them. Which leaders? I'm talking about leaders with quality, by the way. If you put Daniel on the chat, I'm gonna ignore you. I'm not doing this today. Yeah. I'm talking about leaders with quality. I'm not talking about Danilo. Like I don't care about that. I want leaders on the pitch that add something. People look up to, make the difference. Danilo was none of those. So that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Last question before we wrap it up because I need to go lay down if I'm being honest. It's done. Champions League, it's over. Coppa Italia against Empoli. What is it? Quarterfinals at home against Empoli. And then it's a top 4 race. So what is there left? Like how do you pick it up? Because how many points are we behind Napoli? Is it 10? I think it's 10, right?
Yeah, it's 10 on the dot.
I think. And how many points behind Atalanta? 5, 7?
Something like that.
7, I think.
Really? I thought it was 5. I could be wrong. Let me check real quickly because it goes with my question. I could be wrong. It's 5. So it's not a lot of points, and Atalanta are also horrible lately. So Norbert, what is a must for Motta from now until the end of the season?
So I don't know what is a must, but I see it going down the same way as it went down last season. So we will fight it out and somehow make top 4. And I'm not sure about the cup, but probably the cup as well. And that's it. And probably we will see the same type of one good half, one bad half, and against the really bad teams, that one half will be enough. Mid-table teams we probably draw. Lazio we will beat because why not? Yeah, I feel it's gonna go down the same way. We're gonna make top 4. I would go as far as that I say it will be easy, not because of us, but because how bad the league is. And yeah, and we go from there. But I just really can't see how is this gonna change. Like the same way I just didn't see with Allegri how can this work with this stubbornness and this whole mess. It's really hard for me to see Motta long term unless we get signings that are actual leaders and they have experience, because as someone said in the chat, the worst signings were the 3 most expensive players this last summer, and we can't do this. Somehow we need to nail it down who we need, and those need to be experienced players, not young stars or young players who had some potential. We need actual experience.
What I think is a must for Motta from now to the end of the season is obviously a top 4 finish. And yeah, the quality or Lazio, Fiorentina, Atalanta, they're dropping points for fun. So like that should be a given, I hope. And another one is like at least reaching the Coppa Italia final. I know lots of people don't really care about the Coppa Italia, but our run to the final is on paper should be very straightforward because we play Empoli, and in the semis we play Bologna. So getting knocked out to either one of those would be really embarrassing. So top 4 and at least reaching the Coppa Italia final is a must for Motta. Otherwise, yeah, big questions.
Okay. No, I was bringing up the points, but because I was trying to point out that it's close. Actually, 5 points with Atalanta. It was a lot more the way they're playing. So maybe everybody can get dragged into it a little bit. That was what I was trying to point out with the points. But I agree, and I think he needs to win the Coppa Italia, because I think you always need to win the Coppa Italia, being at Juve and the path we have. Like, you need to go into the final. I don't know who you play in the final. It's a one-off game. When we won it last season, I think everybody thought Atlanta were going to smoke us, and we dominated that game basically in chances, and we gave up actually nothing. So it's a one-off game, and it can switch. So that's my thing. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up, people. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Like the video as always. Do it now. And if you're rewatching as well, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. I'm not sure when the next live will be. Probably on Monday. Hopefully on Monday. But yeah, Malik, Norbert, thanks for coming on and talking about whatever this was again. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys very, very soon. Ciao.